All right, welcome to On The Sideline. I'm your host, Jeff Holden. Today we got Big O.
What's good?
And the man of the hour, head coach, athletic director for the Holliday Eagles, Coach Kyle Atwood.
That's the most applause I've ever gotten my entire life.
You got so many
Appreciate
fans
that.
out there.
Appreciate it.
We're in
They're
a
not gonna
live
stop.
studio audience.
Sorry, they're all.
Here we go.
Just kidding. All right, so Coach, we appreciate you coming in. If you could just give us a little bit about who Coach Kyle Atwood is, a little bit of background, history, and then if you want to touch on anything else like your family or anything like that, just let the listeners know.
Yeah, sounds good. Been doing this gig of coaching and teaching for 18 years now. This will be year 14 actually 13 as an athletic director, head football coach. Worked at the 5A, the 6A level as an assistant and a coordinator. I got my first head job at a 3A school and moved on to a 5A school right outside of Corpus in Alice. We were there for 6 years and then got the Holiday job in the spring of 23. Great place to raise a family. My wife's a professor at Angela State University. She's able to work from home, does some college professor stuff at home. And then we've got 3 kids, one that'll be in 6th, one that'll be in 5th, and then a senior. We got a senior that's blink your eyes and they're done. You know, it seems like yesterday she was a kindergarten kid, and now she's a senior and looking into where she's going to go to school, and she's ready to probably leave the house a little bit sooner than we're ready to let her go. But we're going to cherish these senior moments.
So I'm actually in the same boat. My daughter is a senior this year in Burke, and then I got a 6th grade boy going to be a 6th grader.
Yeah, there we go. Exact same.
Don't have the 5th grader, but you know.
Yeah, you missed
So
out.
we're right there. And like you said, I mean, these moments, they come and go quick, and it seems like I'm just a credit card right now for my daughter. So, but take what we can get, and we'll push on from there. But as you know, this is your 2nd year here. Again, we appreciate you coming, making the trip from Holiday. 15 minutes?
It was a long drive. Almost had to stop and get some snacks, but no.
And an extra tank of gas just to get here.
Yeah.
Smooth.
So
Smooth
Coach,
sailing.
I had something that popped in my head. You said your wife's a professor, correct?
Yes.
What subject does she teach?
So she teaches classes for teachers that are wanting to become counselors. So it's a Master's of Education field. She was a teacher. She taught algebra. She taught some BCIS. And then she rotated into the special ed realm of things, and she was a transition coordinator, 504 coordinator, and then she became a counselor. And then as we made the transition to Alice, Angela had offered her a full-time job, and so she got out of the public education or high school education and got into that realm, that she was able to do it no matter where we were in life, as far as where we move and what we were doing. And so it's been really good for her. It's really good for us and our family. She's able to attend all the kids' functions at school. Somebody gets sick, they can come home without us having to take a day off. It's been really good. It's been a blessing.
So the reason I asked that is, I just think that is kind of a blessing for the students at Holiday to have a professor as your AD's wife, because especially with your seniors as they're getting ready to transition to the college realm. I think she can play a pivotal role of helping them understand kind of how you're preparing yourself as a high school student and starting to try to help these athletes to get prepared for the college transition.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of things that we don't really take advantage of her and what she can do, but yeah, that is great. We do a Beyond the Game deal at the beginning of the year. We've done the last few years, and we have guest speakers. She spoke 2 years ago and just talked about the stresses of being an athlete. A high school athlete, not only do you have the stress of being a teenage kid and you've got to go through breakups and friends getting upset with each other, so on and so forth, but then you also got your schoolwork, and then you throw on top of that all the practice time and the time that was spent at games and traveling, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of stress being a student athlete, and so she kind of hit on that and talked about just how to handle those situations, and then what it's like to have anxiety and understanding. Am I depressed? Am I just anxious about stuff, and who to go to when those things happen? And she had 5 to 6 kids at the end of that event. There was 200 plus kids in there that came to her, and she talked to them individually, and so it was a good thing. And true blessing to have her. And we, like I said, we probably don't utilize her and what she's able to do enough in our programs.
For sure.
Yep. So, like I was saying, this is our football preview. We figure, everybody's got their opinion on what Holiday football might be like moving into this season, but we're going to go straight to the source and get it from you. And we feel like there's no better source than the head coach to tell us about his program. So, saying that, let's begin with how last season went. We know how successful of a year you guys had, but what was your record? And then kind of run us into the playoffs and how things ended up.
Yeah, so we finished 11-3 last year. Man, the game, we talk to our kids all the time, but the game of football is really a whole lot like the game of life. There's adversity that hits you, and it hit us early. We got into a week 3 game against Fort Worth Benbrook, a battle at home, which we lose with 1-score game. Not only did we lose that game, we lost 2 starters. We lost Parker Jones, who was an all-state kid as a freshman, sophomore, junior. I mean, this is the leader of our defense. This is a big-time pivotal player for us offensively as well. And then not even a series later, we lose our other linebacker and right guard, Heston Davis, both of them to broken legs. And then we went through a few other injuries. Right after that game, we go in, we played Jim Ned. Hunter Jones, our quarterback, who had a phenomenal year, goes out with a concussion. Left guard, Jimmy Hamill, who's a 2-way starter for us, goes out with a concussion, out for a couple weeks. And so we're like, man, we have some depth, but we don't have the depth to be losing these kids like this. And we gradually got healthy. And then also kids that stepped into those positions to fill in those roles, they got better. And so we actually got better as the year went on with those things happening. But it's really how we handled that adversity. The kid that went in to fill those roles, they didn't shy down, they didn't back away. They took it as an opportunity. That one of those kids was a JV kid, and Braden Hamill. He finishes as one of our top rushers and one of our leading tacklers as a sophomore, and then wins the state track meet. He got a lot of confidence in getting put in a position because of some injuries. And so, we finished the year getting beat in the regional championship by Gunner. It's one of those things that haunt me. I wake up still at night, just did not call a very good game offensively as an offensive play caller. I was disappointed. I don't know if the outcome would have changed, but we should have been we should have been that game a little bit closer than we were. I made some poor calls as far as just play calls and putting our kids in not as good of positions as I should have as a head coach. And obviously we finished that thing that week. They went on to win the semifinal game and then win the state championship. And so it's like, man, it's disappointing, but we were pleased and proud of our kids and what they accomplished last year. Hunter Jones throws for the most yards in the state of Texas in 3A. Ashton Berry's over 1,200 yards receiving. We've got Jaden Kim with multiple yards receiving. Still Skinner, Parker Jones. I mean, we just had a number of kids that really, really had phenomenal breakout years, and ended up signing 6 kids to go on to the next level and play football. And
that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good
and you look at it, and especially at the 3A level, that 98% of kids that when the high school is over, their sports careers are done. But there's a passion for it out of all of them, right? Or at least a huge majority of them. And so for them to have an opportunity to play at the next level, even if it's at the Division II or Division III or JUCO, but just to continue doing what they love to do, as well as get a degree, that's just awesome. And so having 6 of those kids sign, that was a pivotal moment for us.
What were those 6? If you,
so Hunter Jones, he's going to Midwestern. Steele Skinner's going to Midwestern. We had Ashton Berry to UMHB. We had Logan Brake, who never actually stepped on the field for us. He moved in from Memorial. I say from Memorial. He moved in from Ryder and Legacy. His PAPF didn't get cleared, so he was a practice guy for us. Stood on the sideline all year, but he signed at Southeastern Oklahoma. Jaden Kim at Hendricks. Man, I hope I'm not missing anybody. Who's that? We got Hunter Steele, Parker. No, not Parker. Hunter Steele, Ashton, Jaden,
What's the basketball kid?
Ashton Berry.
No, it's another one.
No, yeah.
That's Caden Howard.
Yeah, Caden Howard signed, but so
Did he?
it was just 5. I guess it was just 5 football-wise.
I don't know why I
maybe
thought
we're
Caden
thinking
played.
No, he never played football. We tried to get him to play some slot receiver for us. He had an ACL injury his sophomore year in basketball, and didn't play the next year because of it. And then poor kid tears his ACL in basketball again. So he went through 2 ACL injuries in 2 years and just never got back into the football side of things.
What about Parker Jones?
Parker, man, he is, I mean, just a football player. Coach O's gotten to see him quite a bit. He's a football player, knack for the game, knowledgeable, flies around. But he tears his ACL, and then he comes back this last year and breaks his leg. So he missed a whole lot of time, and he got some looks, but never actually got any offers. Has a goal and aspiration to go into aviation, and so he's going to Arkansas, I believe, southeastern Arkansas or something, to go into aviation school.
Can walk on to MSU.
Well, I personally think as the recruiting process is something that I'll put it out there. Sometimes the kids that are in 3A and lower classifications, they get overlooked.
Yeah.
Especially if they're injured.
Not even just that. Parker's skill set is a skill set. He's a kid that could have played at the 6A level. Let's start.
100%.
Sure. His ability, how he plays. He's a true. You want him to be your linebacker, and he's that type of kid. Yeah. I just think sometimes these kids get overlooked. That's part of the reason why we kind of do what we're doing, just trying to shed some light. But I do think, if he wants, sometimes when you do get overlooked, you kind of get in your shell and be like, dang, maybe I wasn't good enough. He's good enough. Yeah. If you're listening, you're good enough. So if you want to, I guarantee you walk on and these coaches you could be the next Baker Mayfield. Let's just be honest. Baker Mayfield, people don't know that he was a walk-on. He didn't.
Texas Tech.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't get an opportunity right out, so he could be that next kid, to get an opportunity, because it happens every day. Somebody that gets overlooked, next thing you know, they're making commercials about him. Here's a scholarship for you. So to be that. But, Coach, I want to say about your season, I think the one thing that I think lit a fire under your kids the most was I can honestly say that last year, for the first year, I feel like Holliday was disrespected. When I say disrespected, I mean disrespected from the stands of rankings, Dave Campbell, just everything. It was automatically, as much as I love Jacksboro and things like that, Jacksboro, after their run, they got put into the district as feeling like they're going to just pretty much overpower everybody. And I think Holliday kind of took it personal and was like, hey, this has been a district that we've been known to win for a while now, and the kids, I think they took it personal, and you could tell the way that they played all season, and especially in district. It was in district play. It's like they wanted to set a tone. So shout out to those players for just kind of having that embedded and rich tradition of, hey, we're second to none, and just shout out to them for going out and proving to everybody why they were the number one, the reigning district champs at that particular time.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate that, and we talked to our kids as the year went on and progressed that there's only one thing that we could control, and that's ourselves. We can control the attitude and effort we bring to practice. We can control how we play on the field on Friday night. We can't control what ranking we have. We can't control if we're picked to win or lose that next week. But we can control what we do, and our kids, they did a great job of controlling what we could control last year.
Yeah, and I always tell everybody this, and that Holliday seems like they just breed athletes all around. I mean, you guys aren't just successful at football. You're successful at track. You're successful at all the things. I forget the cup. It's called
Lone Star Cup.
Lone Star Cup. And did you guys win? Or
we did. So that second year in a row, we won the Lone Star Cup, which it encompasses everything. All facets of athletics. Then you've got your music side of it. You've got your academic side of it, and so a little bit of everything goes into that, and we were fortunate to be successful in all of those facets. And man, it's just, I've been at a number of schools. I've been at 4 different schools. This is my 3rd school as an athletic director, but never have I been at a place where we had an opportunity to win that Lone Star Cup. And so it's talked about, but it's never been like, and that's obtainable. And I got here, we'd placed top 3 in the last 5 years, but they hadn't won it since 2000 and I mean, it'd been 19 years since we won it, and they hadn't ever won it in 3A, and so it was kind of a goal of ours. Brock had won year in and year out, and they're obviously not in 3A this year, but they were in 24 whenever we won it, the first time we won it, and so just everything came together. The band did phenomenal, competed really well at state. Our academics placed top 3 in state, one region, and then you look at cross country with state championships and the girls and runner-ups and the boys, state track champions and the boys and runner-up with the girls. Our volleyball team went to a regional championship. Basketball team's the 3rd round. Football team did a regional championship. Both baseball and softball played really well. Baseball, the regional championship. Softball, the 2nd round. I mean, so just a lot of great things has taken place the last 2 years. And, we opened up a parent meeting on Sunday with just a slide that says success breeds success. And I firmly believe that we're having the success that we're having because of previous success, because of what these other kids have done and these other coaches have done before our time. And it's just, that's the mindset, that's the attitude, that's what we're after day in and day out. And it's just the culture that we have. And I couldn't be more blessed to be a part of it, to be honest.
That culture is just,
I was about to say.
That's just,
it's from the district. It's not just sports. It's from.
Yeah, it's the culture that you drive for.
Music,
and that
everything.
comes, and, a lot of times, you give credit to everybody else, but that's a lot of credit to you. It comes from the top, and I know you don't do it by yourself, and I know you're going to say, this, and this, but I mean, it does show your kind of leadership, and for you to be a part of that and to be a top of that, that's a good job on you. So.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and I do feel like we've done some really good things philosophy-wise, and our kids have 100% bought into it. But man, I'm gonna be honest with you, I worked just this hard in Alice 4 years ago, but didn't quite have the talent that we've got now, and the backing from the parents, and you know what I mean. So it takes everything, and we couldn't be more blessed, my family and I. And there's a few coaches that came with me to here that couldn't be more blessed than to be here in Holliday, in the Wichita Falls area. I mean, it's a beautiful area, great people, and have an opportunity to raise our kids in a great place.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to what I was saying. Like, they just breed athletes of it. I mean, You see it at the very lowest level. You go to the YMCA, all the Holiday sports are winning. You go to top of Texas, Holiday sports are winning. Like, it's just, and it's something not only to be proud of, but to just, I don't know. I just think that, like, when you think of very good sports, Holiday is always the top of my mind. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. Let's let's go into some of the players you lost. And as we know, being a perennial powerhouse and a team that has such good athletes, name a couple key players you lost to aging out, and then name maybe a couple players that are stepping into those roles.
Yeah, so you take a look at last year's offense, and obviously you start with Hunter Jones. Threw for over 3,000 yards. I don't know how many touchdowns, 50-something, 54 touchdowns. I think he broke the record for single season. Tied it, right, for the Texoma area or whatnot. So you lose him. That's a big loss.
I think it was a tie, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
I think he did. He ran through 54. I think he tied it.
Before you go on, Coach, let's say this first about the guy. Everybody talked about going into last year, what was Holliday going to do for a quarterback?
Talk about stepping up.
Like,
Tell him what I told you game 2 against Mouse.
Yeah, like him having to step into the role that he stepped in following after a heck of a quarterback. I think he brought an element that nobody's ever seen from a Holliday quarterback before, because the way that he was passing the ball, I'm like, everybody was like, wait, this is not what we're used to seeing from a Holliday. This is not a traditional Holliday quarterback. And what he did, Hunter Jones, man, I became an instant fan. I'm gonna be honest. Jeff, week 2, after the Monster game, I'll give him credit. I'll give Jeff credit on air. I don't give him too much credit, but Jeff, you better make sure. Sorry. He came back and he said, man, this might be we're probably looking at one of the best true passing quarterbacks in this class that we've seen. And I was like, man, I got to see it. I was like, I hadn't seen him play before. And then when I seen him play a couple games, I was like, oh, yeah, he legit. Yeah, he can stand in there.
He did. Yeah, he did a phenomenal job. And like you said, you lose Grant Cox. It's like, man, what are we going to do? But I knew for a fact, the work ethic that Hunter had, the desire to be the quarterback, the time that he spent in all facets, whether it was drill stuff through our quarterback school or film and all those things. I knew he was gonna be successful. Didn't know he was gonna be as successful as he was, but we've been fortunate, and I was able to work under a really, really good offensive coordinator, quarterback guy. I grew up with Lincoln Riley, the head coach at USC, who's had multiple Heisman quarterbacks. We get a bunch of drills from them. But, our last year in Alice, our quarterback, Cutter Stewart, passes Colt McCoy, Kyler Murray for all-time passing records, threw for 11,000 yards. And so we feel like the things that we do help mold those kids that we get here. Grant's not necessarily your ideal passing quarterback, but we hadn't been in that offense either, so we weren't catching the ball all that great either year one, but Grant could do some things with his legs, and so he was a phenomenal quarterback for us there in 23, and then Hunter stepped in, and it's really kind of the style of offense that we like to run, and he was able to just take the reins and do a phenomenal job with it. And so obviously losing him, that's a big loss. And then you look at the wideout position, Ashton Berry, and I mean, phenomenal basketball player as well, but the kid could run routes like none other. He could push the field vertical. He could be a possession guy. He was long. He was rangy, caught the ball really well, blocked really well, ran screens well. And so, it's going to be tough to replace an Ashton Berry. And at the slot position, Jaden Kim, shifty, 5'2" or 3, maybe 5'4". I don't know, not real big, but goodness gracious, he was
instant spark.
Yeah, and so much energy. You get the ball in his hands, you never know what's going to happen. So losing him, then obviously a Still Skinner who could play at the running back position, play at the slot receiver position, and then a Parker Jones, and then up front, Jimmy Hamill was a 3-year starter offensively and defensively for Holliday. He was our guy on the line, and so we're bringing 3 of the 5 back. But whenever you lose a Jimmy Hamill who is your leader up front, that's a big loss as well. Then you flip over defensively, and it's really those same individuals, but on the defensive side of the ball, including Parker Jones, who's probably the best defensive player that's played in Holliday for a number of years. 3-time All-State player. He was the leader of our defense for sure the last 2 years, and so that's a big loss. But I feel like at this time last year we sat in here and we talked about those same type of kids. You talked about a Cooper Turner, you talked about Grant Cox, Caleb Foster, and one thing that I was super proud of what we did last year, and I feel like we did the same thing this year, is in the offseason, we really got on these kids to step up. And so you've got a Jaden Whitley that's going to step in on Ashton's side, and a Hudson Dre and a Preston Fandler. These guys they're people that you hadn't really heard of a whole lot, right? But they're going to have big time years this year because of the work that they put in the spring and in the summer, and so I think they're going to do great. And then you accompany that with Ty Harrison, who started for us the last couple of years at the other wideout. Our receivers are going to be pretty solid. Brady Jones has gotten some reps at the quarterback position, also at the slot receiver position. He's kind of like a Still Skinner. He can do it all, like a Swiss Army knife. He's going to be a really good defensive back for us. We could play him in the backfield. We can play him at the quarterback position. We can play him at the receiver position. He'll be a returner for us. So I think he can step in and fill some of those roles that you lose with Still Skinner and Jaden Kim. Landon Jones, Parker's younger brother. He's a great route runner. Him and Owen Hayes, who started it defensively at the defensive back position, they're getting some reps slot wise, and so I really feel like we're not going to. We're losing some big time players, but we feel good about the kids that are stepping into those roles, and the time and effort and what they've put in over the last 8 months to prepare them for it. And then in the backfield, like we talked about, Braden Hamill. He's another year under his belt. He was a JV player for us last year, moved up because of some injuries, and had a phenomenal year as a sophomore running back and linebacker. And then he goes and he runs on the mile relay that wins the state championship, and he just gains all this confidence. And you see him in the weight room, and it's just like, man, he's a man-child. And if you go to the Y, you're going to see him at the Y as well. He's going to lift with us. He's going to lift with the Y. He may just spend some time walking around the track looking at girls. I don't really know, but he's at the Y all the time.
Yeah, maybe.
One person, Coach, and I know as it wasn't intentional, but I got to give my boy a shout out that you forgot to mention. it's hard to replace a Von Hamill.
Oh yeah,
Vaughn. That's
Yeah.
what I was just about to say.
Yeah.
And then and the reason Von is, for people that don't know, Von is this old school
wearing that
cowboy neck collar.
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm like, dude, these kids, they
He
didn't
was
grow up in our
24,
era.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my dude. That's my dude.
These
right
kids
there.
didn't grow up in our era, so they don't understand. If a kid had that on in our era, stay away
Right
from
from
it.
it, yeah.
Because this dude is he's
Yeah.
subject to just throw his whole body into
No,
it.
I got a story about him.
And Von is that Von is that type of player. He's that type of player where he's gonna leave it out on the field.
100%.
He's gonna, because when if you stand beside him, you wouldn't realize this is the guy that just got done playing this game. You're like, no way.
Yeah.
Because he's so nice. Like,
Oh yeah, on the field he's a different
I'm
animal.
like, dude,
right?
this
So-
not who you was. This
yeah.
not who you was.
So the story I got about Von Hamill and how I fell in love with this kid is I explained it as 100 miles per hour, no brakes. Like that's Von Hamill
Right,
to
that's
me.
him to a T.
And I think it was Jacksboro. We were in Jacksboro. I was on y'all's sideline recording, and this dude comes and he hits the Belcher. Was the Belcher kid, right?
Belcher was a quarterback 2 years ago.
Yeah,
That
was it. 2 years ago.
Okay.
Hits Belcher, causes the fumble late in the game.
Yeah.
Holliday gets the ball. We're going down. They're going down to score, and then like the game's on the line, and then he turns around and hits the dude so hard. Gets up. He's like celebrating. He didn't realize he got a late hit call.
Yeah.
That ended up having.
It caused them to get a first down in
the game.
it. But that was bang bang. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. I'm not an official.
Yeah, I know. And I'm the same way. To me, that's a tough call, but just Von Hamill, 100 miles per hour, no brakes. Like that just explains it perfectly. But
you're right. And so I help defensively a little bit, coach the defensive end. So I coached him position wise. So I don't know how I could have forgotten him. We're gonna hug each other tighter than any kid I've ever hugged. But there's been no kid that's ever gotten after me like Von Hamill. He comes off and he'll get back at me a little bit whenever I get after him. Just we have that relationship, and he's why are you always yelling at me? So
yeah, for sure. So, Coach, we talked a little bit about some of the players you lost, some of the key players you guys have coming back. Of course, we know still trying to figure out the quarterback position. That's always one of those things that.
Do you have a starter yet? Is he named?
No, we'll go through that.
That's what non-district's for.
Yeah, we'll go through that. We'll go through the two scrimmages. We got Jones, and then we've got another kid that's moved in, Caleb McLean. So
okay.
But. Yeah. So those are the things that you have going on. So let's talk a little bit about your non-district that you got coming up, and then move into your district play this coming up season.
So looking at our it's a tough schedule. It was tough the last couple years, but we're going to open up with Breckenridge, who's pretty solid. We ended up really pulling away in that thing last year. I don't know exactly what the score was, but things went our way. It was one of those games where you're like, man, nothing can go wrong, and we've been part of those games where nothing can go right, and so we were happy to be in that sucker. But then you look at Munster week 2, they're coming off a state championship, bringing a lot of kids back, and then their JV was just completely loaded. So they're going to be extremely, extremely stout, and I think they're going to be looking for a little bit of vengeance after we were able to pull the win off against them at their place. So they'll be coming into Holliday week 2, and then week 3 we've got Fort Worth Benbrook 4A. Last year we didn't know a whole lot about them. We felt like we were probably a little bit better than them. We got in that game and we realized that they were solid. And then I think they racked off 8 or 9 more wins. I think they went 8 or 9-0, and then got beat. Maybe Brock beat them in district. They lost one game. I think they went 9-1, lost to Brock or something like that in district, and then ended up getting beaten like third round. They're a dang good 4A football team, and so we'll be traveling to Fort Worth to play them.
They were 11-2 last year.
11-2. Who beat them in district?
They lost to Glen Rose, which is
okay. Then that was their district,
and then they lost to Brock in the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. So Glen Rose, who's a solid team, that was their only loss in regular season. And then we've got Burke Burnett, who's going to be better. They've gotten better each year, and so we will be going to Burke also on the road. And then we've got Jim Ned at home. Been here for 2 years, lost to Jim Ned twice, and we've got Jim Ned as a homecoming. I don't know, is that that smart as a coach, or is that dumb?
Smells like a win to me.
I think it's smart because your kids they're gonna get up and play.
Yeah.
When it's homecoming, I don't know. You probably could be playing the best team in Texas. You're gonna get the best version of your team on homecoming.
We have two. I like to do a homecoming game and a non-district game. There's a lot that goes into it, especially out at Holiday. It's awesome, but there's pep rally, there's parades, there's roundups, there's all kinds of distractions, and so let's put one of those games on a non-district game. We've got two non-district games. We've got Munster week 2, and we've got Jim Ned week 5, and so
at home.
Yeah, but those are the two home games that could be homecoming. So we went Jim Ned. We're gonna get them at home and look for that first win against them. And since I've been here,
well, we're hoping that you take care of business there. We're
gonna
go homecoming win for the Holliday Eagles. Talk about that Munster game, like you mentioned. They got a lot of kids coming back. We had Coach Carney on the show, one of our favorites, as you are. But I really look forward to that game. I don't know if I'll be able to make it this year because for whatever reason, I think Burke has their homecoming game week 2 for some crazy reason.
Everybody's earlier this year. I think a lot of coaches are taking that approach of let's get it done.
Yeah.
Get it.
It's good. I mean, there's some great things with homecoming, but as a coach,
you want to get it out of the way.
Well, yeah. I mean, your job, your livelihood depends on winning these games, and there's just so much that goes into that week, and so it's like, man.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's a smart idea to kind of enjoy it, kind of get it over with, get it out of the way, still have another game or two, and be able to look towards district. But so tough non-district schedule.
Absolutely.
To prepare your guys. That's a smart thing to do. What's your district schedule like this year?
So you look at it, we're opening up with Millsap, and they'll be at home. They're going to be better. They were solid on the JV. They've got a really, really good group of sophomores. I guess they'll be juniors this year, including Coach Johnson's son, and so they're going to be solid. And then we got Valley View, we've got City View, we've got Henrietta, Jacksboro. So I mean, we're gonna have our hands full. For
ending
sure.
Ending in Jacksboro.
Jacksboro is ending at our place. Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Henrietta will be the week prior. City View's the 3rd district game. Is that right, Coach O?
Yeah, 3rd. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's gonna be tough. I do think that not only us, but a lot of people graduated fairly heavy, except for City View. City View's bringing back some key players that we talked a little bit before the cameras came on that have bought into the new system and what's going on, and so I think City View is going to be a team that'll have a chance to compete for the district championship, and that's going to be one that we better be ready to play. And we got it at home though.
Yeah.
So get on the bus, advantage. Coach O. Get ready.
Yeah, I think that's kind of. I mean, Coach Lev came in here, had a great interview. We kind of fell in love with him as well. Of course, we like all you coaches. Yeah. We like everything you guys do, but just his mentality, the way he carries himself, and then the fact that they got a lot of returning. I mean, let's think about in your district who's all returning quarterbacks. We got.
Jacksboro's got a pretty solid one as well.
Yeah, coming back.
Wyatt. Yeah.
So
they
Jacksboro
just lost a bunch of
City
other
View.
skill players, but City View's is solid. Jacksboro's is solid.
I think
actually Millsap's quarterback's coming back too.
No. I don't know anything about
Millsap.
The kid that got hurt, so their starter.
He left. He's in Mineral Wells now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I know.
Chalk one up for the good guys.
Yeah. He actually Sims actually is a Mineral Wells kid.
Oh, okay.
He just always went to Millsap. He's gonna finish his career up, and he's gonna be in he's Mineral Wells' new starting varsity quarterback. Okay. Brody Sims. He just got offered by Lamar probably a couple weeks ago, Lamar University. Yeah. So, but yeah, I really do think the district is one of those districts that you don't know how it's going to go until you start playing the games. Yeah. But I think from Millsap all the way down to Valley View, you just never know because everybody, you kind of get familiar with the teams, things like that. The craziest thing is these kids know each other like they go to school. You know what I'm saying? So it's
the best thing.
The games are going to be fun, entertaining, and things like that, and it can go any way. It's just about the injury bug plays a huge part. Everybody
100%,
got,
especially in 3A.
Yeah, you hope to have no injuries, those type of things. But like I said, I said it before. Holiday's been the reigning champs. It's theirs to lose. It's just how it goes. Like, it's one of those things where those kids in Holiday, like I said, since I've been here in Wichita Falls in 2004, that's all. Like Jeff said, I've always heard Holiday. I was like, damn. Once I was like, damn, I'm seeing it. It's like it's just one of those things.
Why?
It's Holiday is one of the towns. It's kind of like a Stephenville. Around here we have the Winthorpes and Monsters that are kind of like the German type. But Holiday reminds me of a Stephenville where, like, everybody loves football. If my son's a football.
All sports.
Yeah, I mean, just in general. But in Stephenville, if you were a criminal, you could go rob whoever you wanted to rob because everybody's going to be at the football game on Friday night. Like, it's just one of those things where there's an expectation.
Small town Texas.
From the guy at the grocery store, the corner store. Hey, we got a game. There's an expectation. He's giving them pep talk. You go to Dollar General, anywhere they go, they're getting a pep talk of, hey, how are we going to be this year? So when you live in those type of communities, it's just kind of instilled in you from little. And the one thing, because I grew up in the town, it wasn't like it was in a bigger city. But one thing you didn't want to be was the group of kids to break the tradition. Yeah. So it's one of those things where you're gonna get their best at all times because they want to keep the legacy going.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. And talking about like our district, I've gone two solid years, so this would be the third year, but it's really, really cool every single one of us want to win, but you finish that game and you go through that handshake line and kids are hugging kids that they know that they may go to church together, they go to Sunday school together, they play together in some pickup games, that type of thing. There's just a lot of mutual respect from not only the coaches, the coaching staffs, but the kids for one another. It's just it's a really, really, really cool thing.
Yeah, it is. And you see that getting better and better. Like, I feel like back in my day, like it was like,
you hated
Atwood Park. Like we wouldn't even slap hands at the end of the game. Like that, it was just kind of how it is. And so that's always a good thing. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. I had something built up. It was really good.
It wasn't meant for you to say it.
I guess not.
So my next part of my question is, Coach, we've been enjoying you on the show. Last year, of course, it's time for the Big O Special, brought to you by Atwood Park's Green and White Club. I got my own sponsor now, Coach. I feel, I really feel appreciative of them guys sponsoring me. But anyways, I'm back. I came back. So the Big O Special, I'm going to do it a little bit different with you.
Do you remember this from last year?
Yeah, twofold. It's all twofold.
Well,
I kind of
got up to like fourfold.
I got
like here we go.
We got a buffet now at this point.
All right, let's do it.
So you said you came from Alice, right?
Right.
So we're going to do a comparison.
Okay.
Food-wise, you were down in...
this is South Texas.
Yes, you were down by...
right outside of Corpus.
Corpus, right outside of Corpus. How the seafood there... What was versus the seafood?
Well, yeah, you can't match. In Corpus, in Alice, you're not eating seafood. In Alice, you're eating Mexican food.
Okay.
So if you get out here and you get on 281, you go through Jacksboro, don't get off that road and you run into Alice 8 hours later.
Okay.
It's off 281. Another hour and a half, 2 hours. You're in the valley. You're right there close to Mexico.
You're going
we're talking some great Mexican food.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're
really great Mexican food.
So what was your favorite mom and pop spot down in Alice, Texas? Just in case we have to go down there.
All right, if you're going, you need to go to Big Taco.
I'm never going down there.
I have to travel sometime for work.
There's the Taqueria Jalisco's solid. Big Taco is really good. Chatos. Now all of these are Mexican foods joints. If you're looking for a burger, dairy burger, really, really sweet tea. And they'll stamp the cup. So you go there, you get this cup stamped. You can come back free refills all day as long as that stamp has the date on it. Right.
So that's cool. Day. That's pretty cool. So I wanted to see. So Mexican food would be your thing. That's your thing.
I really like some Mexican food. Yeah.
Okay. So
I do like seafood though.
Okay. So let's come back to Wichita now. Now you're in trouble. So who's your go-to Mexican place here in town?
Oh man, Jefe's.
Okay, he like Jefe's.
Yeah.
I do like that.
It's pretty solid.
Jefe's burrito.
Yes. So who has the best salsa? That's my
Carlitos.
That's my biggest thing. When I go to a Mexican restaurant, I judge them first based off of the chips and salsa.
Man,
That's what you get first. So that's a good starting point.
I mean, I guess FS. I haven't been to too many besides that. To be
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to chips and salsa, On the Border, I need a sponsor from you because you can't get no better than On the Border chips and salsa.
Theirs is better. Man. It's called Carlitos and Burke Burnett.
Carlitos is good.
And Iowa Park and I think Electra.
Carlitos? I know there's one in Iowa Park and in Burke.
I think they got one in Electra now too.
Carlitos is good.
I haven't eaten it. I'll have to give it a shot.
Yeah, we have next time you're in Burke.
Shut it. And then, of course, I've been bringing the wives onto the show. They're not here, but I'm bringing them into the mix this year. So if you had to pick something, the first part of the question is, what's your favorite thing that your wife cooked that you enjoy?
She cooks. She's a phenomenal cook, so she's good at everything. Anything and everything.
But if you had to pick.
Man. Y'all are putting me on the spot here.
Shout out to the wives.
So this is what she does. She's got a Pinterest deal, and so there's not a week that we don't eat something that we hadn't
had to try
eaten before. So, but she did a little deal this last week that it was pretty solid. It was like chopped chicken with. Man, I want to say just hot sauce, but I know there's a whole lot more stuff in this, right?
Yeah, just say it how you think it is.
With cheese.
Some sauce on there.
And it's like mixed up on tortilla that was just browned. It was pretty solid. I don't even know what, like a quesadilla, but
kind of like,
I don't know.
Did she like pre-roll it, or was it like put aside and you put it on yourself?
No, you put it on yourself.
Okay.
And then
it's like a fajita. Or
Okay. And then what if you were cooking? Most men say I don't cook, but if you were cooking,
I do a bunch of stuff outside. So
what's the favorite one of the things that you do that she likes?
I don't know if she likes it or not, but I got a Blackstone for Christmas, and so we'll do I'll cook some stuff on the Blackstone, whether it's breakfast or hibachi or we did burgers this week. I like if you go to Walmart and just get the boudin from Walmart.
Oh man,
throw it on the smoker.
What
for
you
about
know
45.
about that boudin, man?
It's good. You can't go wrong with boudin.
I like this guy, man.
And so
have you ever
I'll
had
throw
boudin?
some boudin.
I don't know. Maybe.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he don't know no better, coach.
Is that that's the like the Cajun stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a cake, like a casing.
Boudin balls. I love
it's like it's a link.
But they have it where in the store you can buy the links, and it's cased. It's like a casing around it. But if you smoke
I need to get on
that. You can just eat it.
Oh,
Yeah. So
we'll smoke some boudin and then throw some burgers on or steaks.
I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. So I always, it's one of the things when I do the Big O special, everybody's different. So I like to get, the spouses an opportunity to, when you get home.
Now, my wife's a phenomenal cook.
Yeah, so
I probably didn't do her justice. I apologize.
Now he gave her a shout out. So now we know Mrs. Atwood's a great cook. So when I come to Holiday,
here we go.
Here we go. This year, I'm expecting a gourmet meal.
There we go.
No.
She'll bring it over.
Not happening. Not if you wear that blue.
But, man, I got
it. Be all right.
I wear blue, but I got red in my veins, so she understands. But just shout out to Mrs. Atwood being a great cook. Coach Atwood, that's pretty much all I had for you. It's been a great conversation with you, diving in. I think the biggest part for me that I love most is if people don't know you, you're not just being a football coach. You're actually a leader of men, and that's the one thing that I think sometimes coaches don't get enough recognition of being a leader of men. I've seen you at numerous track meets, different sporting events, and just your character and how you are with the young men and young ladies speaks volume to who you are as a person. So. Again, thank you for being on the show, and continue to do what you're doing, Coach.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And you're 100% right. The job that we have as educators and really more so as coaches, like the impact that we can play on kids' lives it's second to none. It's second to none. And so I try not to ever take that for granted, to every day try to be an impact on their lives. And I know our coaching staff does a phenomenal job, both boys and girls, of replicating that. And so we've got some great kids, but we're surrounded by great coaches that just love and care for all of them.
So real quick, I got a couple more questions.
Let's fire away.
We're missing Evan here. So some questions he always asks real quick, you mentioned coaches. Do you have any coach turnover this year? Did you lose anybody? Did you hire anybody?
We added a coach, so we were fortunate enough to add an additional coach to our roster, and so we've got Coach Ryan Casadas has come over from Memorial. He'll be an assistant baseball coach, assistant football coach. He was at Old High for a number of years, I believe like 5 or 6 years. He was in the Metroplex for a couple of years. We at Memorial for one. Great family. They've got 3 kids,
I think
twins,
I work with
and
his wife.
Amazing people. He's going to be a huge asset to our program. We're happy and fortunate to have him, and I think he's gonna be happy out in Holliday, and so that's a good addition. And then fortunate if you're an athletic director, you get into the summer, the worst thing you can do is be sitting there trying to hire people, and so we're fortunate in Holliday that we don't have much turnover usually.
That's always
our coaches love where they're at, and so we're really, really solid in our coaching staff, and we're blessed to have those individuals, and I think they feel blessed to be a part of what we're doing because none of them left us yet. So there we go.
So I mean that's always a good thing, having football coaches coming back, and especially after a successful season. But then you got a lot of coaches and probably a lot of teachers. I mean, when you win the Lone Star Cup, where else would you want to go?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But talking about Holliday, explain to us about the importance and how Holliday took you guys in, 2 years ago, and how it's grown the city of Holliday and what it means to you and your family.
It's like I said initially, it's just been a true blessing to myself, to my family, and then there's a few coaches that came with me that Coach Joey Heron, our strength and conditioning coach. We've been together for 12 years, and so he's got kids that are I think 10 and 8, and so I've known them since they were born. He's known our kids. My brother's the defensive coordinator. We've been together for 10 or 11 years. Obviously been together for 40 or 30 something years, but as coaches. And so, and then Coach Krim, our offensive line coach, offensive coordinator and head golf coach, we've been together for 12 years. Coach Kress came with us for the last 6 years in Dallas prior to being in Holliday. And so there was a number of guys that came in, and it was a transition, Frank Johnson did a phenomenal job, had been there for 10 plus years. And so whenever there's a transition like that and a change in philosophy and some aspects, there's a lot of things that we did the same, but there was some change in philosophy in some areas. The coaches that are on staff, they weren't resistant to it. And so, we were truly blessed to be around that. But it's difficult whenever, and it's not, so if you go in, you're taking over a place where somebody's been there for a long time, but they hadn't been having success, like, hey, let's go. We're hungry for it. But, I mean, Holliday had been winning. They'd been winning in everything that they had done. They'd been successful dang sure in football. And so when you come in, you start doing things a little bit different, there's going to be people who, why are we changing that? We've been successful doing it other ways. And, we really felt like, hey, these are the areas that we're going to invest in our program. And, that's going to be in the weight room, that's going to be running, that's going to be on the track. And we've seen some really good success from those areas. And like we've seen it bleed over into our programs. And, like take our basketball program, for example, this year, phenomenal 2 years ago. And then you lose a Keaton Bristow, you lose those type of kids. And, you throw these other kids in there, but we're able to get up and down the court fast. We're able to compete. We go 3 rounds deep in a year that we probably felt like we're going to be fighting to sneak in the playoffs and maybe go a round or 2 possibly, And so I think a lot of that has to do with just the philosophy of building those kids into the best players and young men and young women that they could possibly be. And we've really seen in the last year, like, people that maybe, I'm not saying that they were naysayers per se, but just didn't 100% agree with like making some changes that are now like on board with like, hey, these things are going to help us in the long run. And a bond was passed. We've got a 4,600 square foot weight room that's going to open up in the next week or so. We've got $250,000 worth of weight equipment that's coming in. So our board and our community, they're investing in the things that we feel like are important in order for us to be successful year in and year out. And so we feel like we're in a really good position now. But yeah, like you said, it's difficult. It's difficult on a new coach coming in. It's difficult on people that were there for change. Nobody 100% likes change, and like I said, it's difficult to have that change whenever you've had success. And so there were some growing pains, but I think we're in a position now that we're moving in the right direction, and things are going well, and people have bought into what we're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely doing well. That's for sure. A couple more things real quick. There was the question I usually ask is there a game on your schedule that you have circled?
I don't know if there's one that we necessarily have circled, but we know that there's going to be some big ones. You look at Munster, Benbrook, Jim Ned, Jacksboro, City View. Yeah, so we've got 5 or 6 games that I'm like, man, these are going to be. But we feel like those are the games that are going to put us in a position to be successful in the playoffs. Because we were in a game round 2 last year against Blue Ridge where we didn't play as well as we probably should have, and we were in position to lose those games. But we had been in some tight games and non-district tight games district-wise, and we were battle tested, I guess you could say, and we were able to overcome those adverse situations and pull that thing off. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact of what we did in non-district and what we did district to prepare ourselves. So just real quick, I'm going to run through because I feel like I didn't do some of our guys justice, but we feel like the strength of our team this year, offensively and defensively, is going to be up front. And so we kind of talked about the skilled kids we lost, the kids that are, but I mean, you look at up front offensively, offensive line-wise, you got Kobe Joe Davis, who's started for us as a sophomore last year at the guard. He'll be moving to a center position. Heston Davis, who is a phenomenal skill player for us 2 years ago, moved down to a guard position, and he's done phenomenal for us as an offensive lineman. So he's coming back. And then you got Creed Neal, who was great at the defensive end position as well as at the offensive tackle position. And then we've got a couple of open spots there that we're working some kids around. But Isaac Rahan's one of those guys who was going to be a starter defensive tackle for us, tears his ACL in the it wasn't even the first scrimmage. It was our inter-squad scrimmage last year. Didn't get to play a single snap. And so he's worked his tail off. We've got Jackson Bishop, Logan Lindeman. We've got a few other offenses. So we feel like the strength of our offense is going to be our offensive linemen. I felt like couldn't leave here without throwing them some love. And then defensive line wise, it's really those same kids flipped over on the defensive line, and then you add in that skill guys with Hudson Dre and Preston Fandler, Cason Poston that'll play that defensive end position. We feel like we're going to be pretty solid up front, both defensively and offensively. So I feel like we need to give them some love because
sure.
We're going to.
Yeah, and then my last question is, how did Coach Atwood become a coach? When did you know? What's the story behind you becoming a coach?
So sports were. I mean, there was always something that. I mean, I don't want to say it was what kept me going to school because obviously my mom and dad weren't going to let me just skip school. But I mean, that's the reason I went to. You know what I mean? Played everything. I was a 6-sport athlete. Cross country, football, basketball, track, golf, tennis. I just love sports. Love what it like the competitiveness, and I always knew that that's what I wanted. I wanted to do something in the sports realm, and so went to college with the aspirations of being a physical therapist. Went on a track scholarship, ran at Tech, and so that took up a lot of my time, but I didn't do as well in like my A&P classes and some of those things. So get through prereqs, apply for PT school, don't get in, go through. I'm still on scholarship, so I'll run another year. I was just going to do prereqs and into PT school. So then I'm finish my bachelor's, apply again, don't get in. And so it was like, this is kind of my backup thing. But got into as an assistant coach under Brent Davis, who's now the president of Texas High School Coaches Association. So phenomenal coach. He was the head coach there in Alice, and I was assistant. And then we went to San Angelo Central. He's at Gregory Portland now, but my mentor, phenomenal coach. And yeah, he's leading the whole thing for us now. So, but man, I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, so
coach?
I go to work for him as an assistant, and played the game. Like, thought I knew everything, and found out really quick I didn't know anything, right? And so, like, I'm just soaking it all in from the assistant coaches, the coordinators, and I found out really quick within the first year that it wasn't even like, it was still like you still get those same feelings on Friday night as you got as a player, and like those things were cool. But the coolest thing was just like the relationship, and then you see these kids grow and mature. Mm-hmm. And then, so I was in Alice for 2 years. I'll tell this quick story. I was in Alice for 2 years. Went to San Angelo Central, got my first head job at Grape Creek for 5. So this has now been 9 or 10 years that Alice calls. They wanted to hire me as the AD. I come back, take my daughter, who's now a senior, take her to a little league basketball practice, and this kid comes up to me, and they were practicing on the other court. He's got shaved head, a little ponytail, and he's like, "Hey, you remember me?" And I had no clue who he was. He was in my PE class, and he's like, we sat there in PE, and he said, "I was fixing to quit school, and you told me don't, whatever." So we had a conversation, and he ends up graduating. He's now the manager at McDonald's. He's got 2 kids, and it's like,
oh wow!
And I didn't even realize that I had played that much of an impact. But that's how, I mean, that's not just me. That's everybody. And it's like, man, what, like the impact that we can have, it's awesome. And so, love sports, love everything that it's all about. But more than anything, man, just seeing these kids be successful, not only like on the field, but in life and the things that they do, and then get married, and I don't know, it's just a really, really cool profession. So, long version on how I got here, but man, that's why I'm here. Like, that's why awesome. I keep doing what I'm doing, because of those things.
Yeah, well, that's a good story. Glad you're doing it.
Yeah,
and you're doing a pretty good job, I guess we would say. So yeah, do you have anything else for us, or you?
No, I think we kind of hit on everything. We appreciate what you guys do. We kind of talked about it at the beginning with Parker Jones' situation, but you guys and the effort that you put into getting all the schools recognized, whether it's a 6-man school or a 6A school, getting them recognized, getting the kids recognized. We appreciate that. That there's a lot of time and effort spent by you guys that probably go unnoticed, and so we appreciate what you guys do and what y'all do for not only for football, but for sports in general, and for the kids in the Wichita area.
All right. Well, thank you for the kind words, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, this year will be here before you know
it. Yeah.
Football is starting, and we wish you the best of luck this year. We hope you beat Jim Ned on homecoming. And only because they're not in our coverage area, so we can say that.
There you go.
But now we wish you the best of luck this year, and if you need anything from us, just let us know.
All right, appreciate it.
Right. Thanks, guys. Coach.